Don't wish to be associated with Brandon Brootal. He has allegations against him for being a child predator after falling for some bait online.
Hello everyone, so I went trick-or-treating and I got lots of candy. Let's see. Hello, this is my friend and that's a buttload of candy.
He claims to be looking for me, saying that if he just knew where I lived, he would show up at my front door.
I'll walk up straight to the door if I could. Alright, what I want to say in this video is no, I'm not a pedo. If people try to tell you that I admitted being a pedo, I didn't, because I'm not a pedo. Okay?
Brandon Brootal was once seen as the emo music revival star on TikTok, gaining over 1 million followers with his screaming, his style, and his music.
Gotta be real, cause caring what they think gives them something to steal. I ain't gonna be somebody or not, so all my haters should know when to stop.
But behind the eyeliner and live streams was something far darker. A 35-year-old man living off his father, and instead of showing respect to his father, he goes to fight him on live stream.
You gotta stop talking. You gotta
And when viewers expressed hate against his actions, Brandon tried to gain sympathy by faking his death.
So now I've done something, and I don't think I'm gonna be here anymore. But I love you all.
Viewers actually thought it couldn't get worse, until his obsession with women came to light.
Women thinking them to kids just turns women off. And it makes me lose so many chances with women. Arrgh.
Even threatening to make it difficult for women to reject him. I might go to the dark web and pay a hacker to make it impossible for women to block me on any of my social platforms. When these threats came to light, he began to blame his actions on a hacker that never existed.
And no one feels like that about me anymore, thanks to the hacker making me look like a pedophile, making me look like Davey Vanity.
And when you piece all of these incidents together, you can't help but wonder, just how far did this man go? And who exactly is Brandon Brootal? The answers lead us straight into one of the most disturbing downfalls TikTok has ever seen, the rise and fall of Brandon Brootal. When we discuss Brandon Brootal, one of the first things we need to understand is how consistently he attempts to control the narrative and cover up any incident that could compromise his public image.
I'm an awesome guy. I'm a pretty cool guy. I deserve a woman, okay? Like, if you ever met me, and you spent time with me, oh, only if you're an adult woman I will let you.
In fact, a pattern can be observed where Brandon often addresses accusations or issues before they even surface publicly. This tendency came into focus in 2024 when Brandon posted a TikTok video that left many viewers confused. In the video, he firmly stated that he had nothing to do with minors.
I have to say this again, because people in my town don't understand. I'm only friends with people who are about, 18 and up, and I only date women who are 21 and up, basically. 20 maybe, but 21 and up, preferably. So, but just wanted to say that because the people in my town don't think so.
At first glance, someone stumbling onto this video without context might shrug it off as harmless. However, for those who had been following Brandon for a while, the post seemed completely random and suspicious. The odd part is that there were no public rumors or accusations circulating about him and minors at the time. Nothing in the community. Nothing in comment sections, nothing in creator spaces. So the big question was, why make such a defensive statement when no one had accused you of it in the first place? The phrasing itself, insisting that he doesn't date minors, raised eyebrows, as it seemed like a very specific denial that came out of nowhere. But this was not a one-time occurrence. A short while later, Brandon uploaded another video reinforcing the same point. This time, he announced that if anyone wanted to be his friend, or have any type of interaction with him, they had to be over 18.
You want to be my friend, you have to be 18 and up. You want to date me, you have to be 21 and up. Why? Because I'm not no Davey Vanity.
Again, the message was clear. Brandon wanted to separate himself from the idea of associating with minors. Yet again, there hadn't been any visible accusations or discussions around him that warranted such a clarification.
Hi. In case you're having a good day, I just wanted to let you know that kids refer to the 90s as the late 1900s.
I say, Tyler, would you like to listen to some turn-of-the-century music?
To many followers, this repeated insistence started to feel less like reassurance and more like overcompensation. Some of the comments would often ask him to go off the internet because they did not understand the message he was trying to pass. One person commented, "The most awkward video on this app." Another said, "Go off." As Brandon's repeated statements piled up, some viewers began to lose patience. What initially came across as harmless curiosity quickly shifted into genuine suspicion. His constant insistence that he had nothing to do with minors no longer felt like reassurance. It started to read as a red flag. Eventually, the situation caught the attention of a group of creators who decided to investigate Brandon's behavior more closely. But the surprising part is that their digging didn't immediately uncover anything concrete. Instead, it was Brandon himself, perhaps out of fear or guilt, who ended up exposing the very details he seemed so desperate to hide. According to Brandon, the entire controversy surrounding him could be explained by a single event. In one of his live streams, he claimed that his Facebook account had been hacked, and that it was the hacker, not him, who messaged a minor.
He used it to talk dirty to a filthy minor, and then the minor thought it was me and screenshotted it and spread it everywhere on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere. And thanks to the hacker, I looked at all the comments of how people felt about me before the screenshots. And no one feels like that about me anymore. Thanks to the hacker making me look like a file, making me look like Davey Vanity. Oh, hacker, if you're watching this, you hack my profile, you mother. I'm gonna find this hacker, and I'm gonna him.
At first, this explanation might sound like a convenient excuse, even though we don't know what he was talking about, but if you paid close attention to that live stream, one particular comment stood out. The comment simply read, "It was not a hacker."
Gotta be real, cause caring what they think gives them something to steal. I ain't gonna be somebody or not, so all my haters should know when to stop. Cause this is me, I got my integrity, I ain't gonna let them make me out to be some silly little wannabe.
That short message changed everything. Rather than taking Brandon's word at face value, upon further investigation to determine the authenticity of this claim, what was uncovered painted a very different picture. It turns out that the reason Brandon had been so aggressively denying any connection to minors, the very reason behind all those TikTok posts where he said he had nothing to do with them, was because he actually had come into contact with one.
Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm gonna be singing some of Situations from Ronnie's Escape the Fake music, okay? Like I did back in 2007. Now, this is my first emo song I listened to back in 2007 when I was singing it outside the lunchroom at school, okay?
It all started when a group on Facebook made a post that reads, "Brandon Brootal is back at it again." At first, this didn't make much sense. Why would someone suddenly claim that Brandon was back when he never really left TikTok in the first place? If anything, the real question should have been, where exactly had he gone? And why were people suddenly acting like his return was news? The group explained further, and their message reads, "Late last year he was caught in a sting operation, talking to who he thought was a 15-year-old girl. The backlash sent him on a downward spiral when it hit social media. He began stalking people who dropped him as a friend and so much more. You can just Google his name or search him on YouTube. The list goes on. I guess he just didn't learn the first time." At first glance, the chat seemed harmless, Brandon starting with small talk, trying to get to know the girl. But the person on the other end wasn't naive. She was already aware of the kind of reputation Brandon had online. Instead of falling for his act, she pressed him, trying to find out where exactly he had been. Brandon started the chat by texting, "Hey XD," to which the person replied, "Oh hey, you're back." Brandon said, "Yeah, I was in jail." The reply came as for the stuff I've been seeing online. Brandon replied, "Nope."
I'm not a pedophile. I like adult women with big boobs.
Now this was not an issue yet. Despite all his claims he had made in the past, here he was again, chatting with a young girl. As the discussion went on, the girl tried to keep things casual, giving short answers and making it clear she wasn't comfortable. She didn't want to create drama, and she didn't want to escalate things. To her, keeping it surface level was the safest option, so she simply said that she believed him.
I'm gonna say, hey, in this video, I guess, anyone like sees me or anything, it's totally okay. I'm chillax. I mean, if you want to like say hey or talk or anything, I'm totally up for it. Or like even get a picture and everything. I'm completely fine with all that. I mean, I had a couple of people do that, and I'm completely okay with it anytime.
Unfortunately, Brandon wasn't satisfied with that. Instead of leaving things alone, he took it a step further. He started making advances toward the girl, who, to repeat, was only 14 years old at the time. This is where the conversation became disturbing. Brandon wasn't just making small talk anymore, he was actively crossing boundaries that no adult should cross. And if that wasn't enough, Brandon also sent another voice note during this conversation. The chat went like this: "I miss seeing you too. I think you're pretty cute. Brandon, I am 14. We can be friends, but I'm not interested in you like that." Brandon also sent a voice note, to which girl replied with a shocking emoji.
Liking teenage girls doesn't make me a pedophile.
At this point, there was no denying what was happening. Brandon had shifted from harmless conversation into predatory behavior. He was no longer just the emo guy screaming on TikTok. He was now being exposed in real time for something far worse. Yet it did not stop there. This girl was not comfortable with that statement, in fact, who will? So she did her best to respond lightly without encouraging him further. In fact, the young girl even reminded Brandon that she was a minor. Any reasonable adult would have backed off immediately. But not Brandon. Instead, he twisted her words and told her that the very fact she was a minor, and the strangest part, he was somehow able to convince her with that bizarre and disturbing line. Now let's not forget, this is the same guy who had built his entire online image on denying any connection to minors. Over and over again, Brandon insisted that he had never messaged underage girls, that he had never crossed those lines. Yet here he was, not only admitting it in chat, but also going so far as to suggest they meet up.
That's yeah, I think that's that you're a minor.
This was the tipping point for the young girl. Realizing how far things had gone, she pushed back and even threatened Brandon. But instead of owning up to what he had done, Brandon came up with one of the most absurd excuses possible. He claimed that it wasn't him at all, that it was a hacker. According to Brandon, the hacker had somehow broken into his account, sent all the inappropriate messages, and even recorded the voice notes. But here's the problem. Brandon always seemed to conveniently log back in right after these suspicious conversations ended. So are we really supposed to believe that a hacker not only sounded exactly like him, but also stepped out of his account the very moment trouble came knocking? It was a desperate excuse, and it revealed two sides of Brandon at once: his predatory behavior at its peak, and his willingness to lie and to cover his tracks. The chats themselves, however, told the real story.
It was a hacker trying to make me look bad online.
Now let's step back and think about this for a moment. These conversations happened in May 2024. Just a few months later, in November, Brandon suddenly switched his online messaging. He started posting video after video declaring that he hated minors, that he never spoke to them, and that people under 18 should not be his friends. At first, some people gave him the benefit of the doubt. They thought he was simply trying to set clear boundaries for his community. But once these leaked chats and voice notes surfaced, the full picture came into focus. Brandon wasn't just setting boundaries, he was scrambling to cover his tracks. And just when it seemed like his lies couldn't get any worse, Brandon's personal life with his father revealed even more cracks. Brandon Brootal first stepped into the online space in 2020. What shocked many people was how quickly he built a following. In just a little over a year, Brandon had managed to attract more than 1.3 million followers on TikTok. He even bragged about his numbers, showing off his massive audience as proof of his growing influence. But here's the strange part. Despite his rapid success, Brandon kept losing access to his accounts. They weren't banned, flagged, or suspended. He simply claimed that he had lost his passwords. And yet, every time he started fresh, his fans came rushing back. People kept refollowing him until his audience grew back to over 1 million.
Hello everyone, so yes, this is my real account. I'm just not going to be posting yet because I have to re-dye my hair black, I have to flatten it to the side, I have to eyeliner my eyebrows, I have to raccoon out my eyes with black eyeliner.
This serious love from fans raised an important question. What exactly was Brandon doing that made people so loyal to his content? Why did so many fans keep coming back to him even after he lost accounts? The answer was actually pretty simple. The key could be seen right in his bio, where he proudly called himself an emo lover.
Hey, I wanted to do this video, I guess, to let everybody know. Anyone who, I guess, says hey to me or who sees I'm in the area and everything, because I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and everything.
You see, for many viewers, Brandon became popular because he tapped into a sense of nostalgia. He was able to bring back the old 2008 emo style, a look that many thought had faded away years ago. These kinds of videos drew in a massive audience. Comment sections were often filled with people showing their admiration for his style, with fans celebrating the way he represented the emo community. "You look so good in a tie, Brandon," others said. "Man, you make me happy." Brandon gave people a reason to feel connected again to an era they loved, and for that, he earned their support. But Brandon wasn't just about fashion and aesthetics. He was also heavily into music. In fact, music was at the center of most of his content. He often practiced and performed in unique ways, turning almost anything into part of his craft. Sometimes he would scream into cans as if they were microphones, experimenting with sound and expression.
So I'm going to be doing in this video what I did in my older videos, screaming into a bunch of energy drink cans. I'm going to be doing disrespect their surroundings, okay?
Disrespect your surroundings!
Other times, he would simply vibe along to different songs, letting his followers enjoy his passion for music. He even showed his softer side by performing Christian songs, surprising many people who were used to his hardcore emo persona. And beyond all of this, Brandon also listened to his fans. When they requested songs, he would sing them, giving his audience a sense of participation in his content.
Okay, this video is for someone who wanted me to sing some Taking Back Sunday. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. No, my singing's not gonna sound all that good, but whatever.
This variety showed just how versatile he was when it came to music. He wasn't locked into one sound or one identity. Instead, he explored multiple styles, which made his page dynamic and exciting. For many of his fans, this versatility was one of the biggest reasons to stick around.
I'm making a video because there's this emo girl in my town. I guess this emo girl in this blue truck or something in my town who used to like me, but then the girl who hates me lied to her about me and everything. So, I don't know.
But even with all this success, Brandon faced a major obstacle in his music journey: his father. While Brandon was growing his online fan base, experimenting with music, and building a reputation as an emo icon, there was still tension behind the scenes at home. His father was not always supportive of the path Brandon was taking. This created friction, and at times it felt like Brandon was fighting two battles: one online where he was loved and admired, and another in his personal life, where he was struggling for acceptance. The first indication of this was when Brandon made a post that said his father was comparing him to Michael Jackson. He was not pleased with this. "My dad keeps saying, I look like Michael Jackson with my black parade jacket on. My Chemical Romance wore it, not Michael Jackson." Now, at the point where this post was made, I would like to point out that Brandon was already 35 years of age, and all he did with his life was TikTok. This was the only thing he had going on, and the sad part of it was that it did not yield anything substantial. On the other hand, his father was a disabled man who, despite his condition, was the breadwinner of the family. He was able to provide for the house through the money he received from the Social Security Disability Insurance, a program created by the U.S. government to support people living with disabilities. This was one of the major reasons why Brandon's father never supported him. Because how can a man at 35 be doing absolutely nothing while being fully dependent on his disabled dad? This lack of support made Brandon begin to detest his own father, and that hatred would eventually lead him to start doing crazy things online. One of the first things he did that really shocked viewers was a live stream where he exposed the room where his father was staying.
This is the room. Okay, oh, it's pretty bad. Holy shit. Oh my god. What the f? Holy sh... Look at that. What the fuck? Dude.
When you watch this video, honestly speaking, what Brandon did here was very disgraceful. Not to his father, but to himself. The room was messy, and instead of helping to clean or showing respect, he decided to humiliate his father on livestream while shouting at the camera. The question here is this: how can a grown man at 35 be there doing absolutely nothing other than yelling at the internet while his elderly disabled father, who should be resting, is left to deal with a messy room? The least anyone with common sense would do in such a situation is to say thank you to the father who still feeds him, clothes him, and gives him shelter, by at least helping to look after the house and even his father's own belongings. Instead, Brandon chose to do the exact opposite. However, this behavior repeated itself again in another live stream when Brandon was trying to record a song late at night. As usual, his version of singing was really just shouting at the top of his lungs. His father, who was trying to sleep, could not rest because the walls were thin and the noise was unbearable. Out of frustration, his father came to confront him. Instead of giving in and respecting his father's need for rest, Brandon kept on shouting and arguing. The confrontation escalated to the point where his father, unable to take it anymore, hit him out of frustration, and Brandon began to fight him right there live on camera.
Do nothing. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to get ready for bed.
That's why you're talking?
No, I'm just... No, I'm trying to get ready for bed and you're interrupting me.
Interrupting for you to go to bed? Dude, what I come here for? I'm in my room. My TV full blast. I hear you.
Yeah, I want to go to bed.
And so you were going to bed, and so you got to yourself before you go to bed? We're going to talk about it, man. You got to stop talking. You got to... You fucking... Broly! Hit me! Come on, hit me! You're out of here.
Now, let's be very clear here. Violence is never the right answer. But what makes this clip disturbing is that Brandon lied on camera saying that he was sleeping, as we just saw, and made it look as though his father was the aggressor while he played the victim. The reality is that he should have been protecting his father, not fighting him. After all, this is the same father who clothes him, feeds him, and gives him a roof over his head. And this was not lost on his audience, because the comment section quickly filled with people calling him out for his disrespect. People filled the comment section with comments like sad, He should be taking care of his dad, not fight him. Unfortunately, those were not the only incidents that showed the estranged relationship between Brandon and his father. Another one came from something as simple as his dad's love for sports. It turns out Brandon's father was a football fan. Like most people, he enjoyed watching games in his free time. But for Brandon, this was an inconvenience. To him, it was disturbing his ability to stream live. So instead of respecting it, Brandon came to the internet and started ranting about how much his father's love for football was affecting him.
Well, I would want to date a woman who doesn't get like that over sports like my dad is getting. Because that is annoying. Oh my gosh. Like, you don't get anything if your team wins. Like, if the team you prefer wins, you don't get any money when they win. There's no incentive. You get no money, you get nothing from them winning. So why are people so happy when their team wins when they don't get any money from it? Now, if you're getting money when your team won, then it's more of an excuse to get like that. I don't understand I don't understand when people get that much into football to work.
The shocking part was not just that Brandon complained, but how intensely he ranted. In one video, he even stormed off toward the closet mid-rant while still shouting into the camera about his father.
I can't handle this. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to take this into my closet. I gotta take this in my closet. Hold it for a second. Oh, God, what? Like, sorry everyone, I gotta take this into the closet. There we go. I'm in my closet now because he's screaming over football.
Now let's be very honest here. How can Brandon be complaining about a 90-minute football match when he himself spends the whole day screaming at a screen? It doesn't make any sense. This is a man who should have been working, contributing something to the household. Instead, he was shouting at his father for simply enjoying a game of football, a game that should actually be encouraged considering his father's health challenges. Because at that age and with his condition, rest and simple joys like watching football should be respected. Instead, Brandon mocked it and turned it into content.
I signed papers for food stamps and SSI, and the thing is, what apartment complexes do is they go off their SSI check. So say an apartment is $700 a month. They'll only charge me like $250 a month because they'll go off my SSI check. So that means I'll be able to get my own apartment.
Moments like this showed the real problem with Brandon. It wasn't about the emo look, the screaming, or even the music. It was the way he treated his own father, the man who was keeping him afloat. Instead of showing gratitude, Brandon turned his own family struggles into livestream drama, always playing the victim, when in reality he was the one refusing to step up as an adult.
Women thinking I'm into kids just turns women off. And it makes me lose so many chances with women. Arrgh. I don't want to become violent to where I get violent towards a woman when I get rejected, because that's just not me.
Then in the heat of this situation with his dad, Brandon did something that shocked everybody and even got his own fans very worried. Out of nowhere, he made a post saying that he was dying and that he loved his fans.
In this video to say thank you for everyone supporting me, and I just did something that I'm probably not going to be here anymore for, because I just I did something and I don't think I'm going to be living anymore. So I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I don't care that my teeth are dirty. I'm about to die. Yeah, I'm so sorry, everyone. But thank you, everyone. I love all of you. And if my friend Cadis is seeing this, you mean a lot to me and everything. And I just want to say, everyone, thank you for supporting me, because I had a huge fear of the unpardonable sin. I started not being able to sleep, which really scared me. So now I've done something, and I don't think I'm going to be here anymore. But I love you all. Sorry. Goodbye.
As soon as this post went viral, people did not know what to believe. At first, many thought it might just be another stunt, but things started to feel real when days turned into weeks, and Brandon made no more posts, no live streams, nothing at all. The silence gave the impression that maybe, just maybe, Brandon really was gone. Then the internet began to fill with posts saying, "R.I.P. Brandon," and fans were leaving heartfelt messages mourning him.
Remember, I always love you.
And this wasn't just random fan speculation. The story grew so large that even some bigger sites carried reports of Brandon's death, with headlines talking about him as if he had already passed away. But one thing nobody seemed to know was what caused his so-called death. There were no clear answers, no explanations, just mystery and speculation everywhere. Then out of nowhere, a different creator made a post that shook the conversation. In their video, they claimed that Brandon never died, and instead he had overdosed. The claim was that Brandon had taken too many pills, but he had survived.
So new information has come out, and it turns out that Brandon Brootal might actually still be alive. People have found his mom's Facebook and have been messaging her, and she claims that he did overdose, but he wound up surviving, which is really great news if it turns out to be true. Now, honestly, I don't know who to believe anymore, so I'm just going to remove my previous videos and not speak on this topic anymore until we have a definite answer. But I just wanted to give you an update and say there is hope that he's still here with us.
This post was like a sudden spark of hope. Fans quickly jumped to the comments section, sharing how much they wanted this to be true, begging for confirmation, and expressing relief at even the smallest chance that Brandon might still be alive. The comment section reads, "So glad he is potentially alive. I hope he is still here with us. He didn't deserve any of this." Finally, after weeks of speculation, Brandon returned. He admitted that he was not dead, but he did overdose. According to him, the overdose happened because of all the pressure he was under at that time.
Hello everyone. So I guess there's still some confusion, on if I'm dead or not. I definitely am not. I actually recovered somehow, but yeah. So I am alive. This is my me recording this in the moment.
Now, you would think that after surviving such a close call, Brandon would change course, focus on recovery, and maybe step away from the constant drama. Instead of slowing down or reflecting, Brandon shifted right back into his old habits. And soon enough, he went straight back to his obsession with women.
Hello everyone. I don't look like emo. I don't emo the way I usually do because I don't have my black hair dye or my black nail polish or my eyeliner or my hair flattener.
Now, this obsession really started when Brandon went online and made a post saying that he was in desperate need of love. He told his followers that what he wanted more than anything was an emo girlfriend, someone who would match his lifestyle and understand him since he was all about being emo. He searched for a long time, posting about his loneliness again and again, but still, nobody came forward. Eventually, he admitted openly that he was tired of being single and tired of his situation.
I'm sick of seeing all these other emo guys get emo girlfriends and me not get one. I'm just sick of it. I see even basic ass guys, basic as hell, who are normal and not emo at all get emo girls.
But as if the universe answered him not too long after making that post, Brandon suddenly found a girlfriend. And of course, he was quick to show her off to his fans, bragging that he finally got the emo girl he wanted.
Hello everyone. Okay, I am very excited. I am no longer single. I have a girlfriend. Well, it's long distance relationship though, but it's still a relationship. But she went ahead and ordered some stuff for DoorDash for me, and she got me all these boxes of chocolate and everything, and other stuff too. So I'm very happy about it. So yeah, I'm no longer single. I am taken by a beautiful girl. I think her name is Sammy. And she's very cute. Her voice is very cute.
At first, this seemed like the happy ending he had been waiting for, but it didn't take long before things started to show cracks. Because even though Brandon now had a girlfriend, he wasn't satisfied. He still went around making advances at other women, trying to get their attention behind her back. This stayed hidden for a while until one of the private chats got leaked, and that changed everything.
Hey, pretty lady. Yeah, I know, I sent a voice message to your other friend. The thing is, I'm very aware that this shit is all creepy, so you can't break what's already broken, so... Anyway, yeah, I was looking at your TikTok videos, and I saw one video where you had no makeup on. You looked cute, you looked so damn adorable. Just want to snuggle you.
So as you just saw, Brandon's behavior was shocking, but the worst part is that whenever a woman rejected him or refused to give him what he wanted, he would lash out and threaten them, and when people started calling him out, his excuse was always the same, that he already had a girlfriend so he couldn't possibly be doing such things. One of the most upsetting moments came when a person publicly accused Brandon of threatening a woman if she didn't agree to date him. Instead of admitting it, Brandon immediately denied the whole thing, saying it was all lies, but the post itself told a very different story.
Okay, all I want to say in this video is thank you to all my followers and everything, and I hope everyone has a great day. And I want to give out positivity to those it might help and everything. And thank you again to everyone.
and you're all awesome, so thank you.
One person asked the question, "Aren't you the guy that claimed to will women if they reject you?" Brandon replied, "Nah, I don't do that. Besides, I have a girlfriend now who is 31 years old. If I said any of that, I didn't mean it. I don't worry about women anymore. I have a woman who loves me." This cycle of threatening women, getting exposed, and then denying everything quickly became a new pattern in Brandon's life. It wasn't even something new. It had been going on long before. In fact, someone close to him, someone who knew Brandon personally, came forward to share her own experience. She revealed that Brandon had been stalking her, and even after she blocked him, he refused to back down.
After the allegations were publicized and I blocked Brandon, he went live walking down a street that I recognize in our city. He claims to be looking for me, saying that if he just knew where I lived, he would show up at my front door.
I walk up straight to the door if I could, but yeah, I don't know where that is, so.
He's also telling his viewers to reach out to me for him and to get me to talk to him. After the live ended, he went on Facebook making a post saying, "My fists know no gender." Wonder what that was about. I've been in contact with the police, and I really thought that all this stuff would eventually die down and the internet would move past it, but he has been continually talking about me in his videos.
I had a picture of Cat Catastrophe in my phone, and not that long ago, I was kind of...
Meanwhile, my information is still being spread around the internet. The point of this video was to just clear up any confusion and to publicly state that I am not associated with him and I want no part in this.
Because of all these threats and predatory actions, things eventually caught up with Brandon. The cops got involved, and he was arrested for threatening women. The statement was so bad it had to be deleted. But the harsh truth here is that Brandon didn't really face full consequences. Instead of being properly punished, his lawyer argued that he was incompetent, and because of that, he was only put on house arrest.
I haven't been doing a lot of that because I can't really get outside the building because of house arrest. What happened to me was people were harassing me for living next to the school because of their stupid screenshots. And then I said something about like getting rid of the school, not hurting anyone inside, but getting rid of the building. And so I said that on my live on Instagram. And then someone recorded me saying that. And they made it into a video. And they put it on TikTok. And then someone scrolling down TikTok saw the video. And then what they did is they reported it to police. And police came and got me. They let me go, but they came back and said the magistrate said I had to go to jail.
Brandon was later released, and even after all of this, nothing really changed. He went right back online, making new posts and fantasizing about women all over again. In one clip, he complained that women refused to accept him, saying they believed the rumors that he loved minors.
There's incels, complete ugly incels who are complete assholes who can get more adult women than me, than I ever could. You know why? Because no one thinks they're into minors. All the adult women don't want to date me because they think I'm into kids.
From this, it is very clear that Brandon has not changed at all. Despite everything, the scandals, the leaks, the police, and even the arrest, he keeps on repeating the same behaviors, showing that his obsession with women is far from over. There aren't a lot of creators covering just how deep Brandon's behavior really goes, and maybe that's because people don't want to touch the subject. But let's be clear here, Brandon's not some misunderstood emo guy who just got caught up in internet drama. He's a 35-year-old man who lives off his disabled father, lies to his fans, fakes his own death, threatens women, obsesses over minors, and then tries to play the victim every single time he's called out.
Hey everyone, so unfortunately, my brother and dad saw that someone posted my court documents online, and then I found out that my uncle lied and said I faked my death in the court documents, which I didn't. So again, they saw that someone posted that and let me know, which is good that they let me know, but it's bad that that's all out there, so.
Being emo is not an excuse. Having struggles is not an excuse. He knows exactly what he's doing, and the only reason he's gotten away with it this long is because people kept giving him sympathy instead of holding him accountable. Well, not anymore. This has been Brandon Brootal, manipulator, predator, and abuser. He does not need a platform. Get him off the internet.
I said, if I played my cards right, Lauren wouldn't hate me. Lauren's an adult woman. Like, If instead, when I went to Hot Topic, if instead I went to Hot Topic, and that would be nice, to be a father and to be a husband. That's the only reason I like to work. Well, I don't work right now because my ID is not valid, but...
So what do you think? Should Brandon be held accountable for everything he's done, or do you think he'll find a way to play the victim once again? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And when you're done, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to